Hi everyone, this is the syllabus tour video for Online American History 2 for the fall, and this will be like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to go over the major points of the syllabus. I'm not going to read you every single word because I know you can read. I just want to go over some of the really important things with you, some of the major policies, grading, that kind of stuff, so that you know that there are expectations for this class, you know what those are, and you're familiar with what we're going to do this semester. Alright, so this is American History 2, as I mentioned. The last day to drop without a grade penalty, that is the last day to drop and have a WD that does not affect your GPA, is October 21st, 2020. For my contact information, I am indeed Amanda Zakanis. It is pronounced Zakanis, Khan, like Wrath of Khan. If you can't pronounce it, that's totally fine. Like if you call me and you can't say it. I've been married for over 7 years now and my dad still can't pronounce it. So, Miss Z is fine, Miss Amanda is fine, Amanda is fine. As long as we're respectful with each other, I have no problem with you using my first name. So, just to let you know. Office hours. My office hours are virtual this semester to keep everyone safe. They are from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays, and 2 to 3:30 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They are going to be via Skype. Those links are going to be available in the My Instructor tab for you. My office is in the STEAM building. If there is a need to meet face-to-face, please contact me beforehand and we'll figure it out. I would prefer to meet, maybe take a stroll outside, with better airflow. But yeah, if you do feel that a face-to-face meeting is necessary and it can't be accomplished with a virtual meeting through like some sort of video chat, please let me know. My office phone number is there. My Google Voice phone number is there. So if you try to call me at my office number and you can't reach me, if I'm not teaching a class, I'll pick up if I'm there. If I'm not there, you'll need the Google Voice number if you're trying to get me by phone, so you can use that. Email is the best way to get in touch with me. And there it is right there. And I always respond within 24 hours, unless I'm experiencing some sort of emergency on my end, which if I am, I will send out a Blackboard announcement that will also go to your email and let you know. So you can expect a response from me within 24 hours. You can ask around. It's usually less than that. I do not check my email late at night, and I have 2 small kids, so I don't stay up very late either. So if you send me an email late at night, you might not hear back from me until the next morning. So, we've got things that are due on Friday nights and all that. So, don't leave that to the last minute if you can help it, because if you email me at 10 o'clock at night because something's not working, I won't be able to deal with it until the next day. Alright, so this is American History 2, so this is the second half. So we're going to start with Reconstruction and the end of the Civil War. I'll talk very, very briefly about the Civil War in the first week, but we are going to tell you that and then after Reconstruction, we're going to go on to things like industrialization, immigration, the Great Depression, major American wars, the Cold War, social conflict. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to go to about 2008 in the class, so just so you know. And we are entirely online. Everything is labeled in Blackboard. We'll see the Blackboard tour video. You'll see everything is clearly laid out. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to let me know if you can't find something or if you're confused about something, but make sure you watch all the orientation videos and read through all the welcome stuff first. Blackboard announcements, I send those out pretty regularly. You'll hear from me at least twice a week. Usually it's Monday saying, hey, welcome to week whatever, this is what we're talking about, looking forward to discussing it with you. And then, if I get grades back on a major assignment or something, I might post another thing between then and Friday. If not, you'll definitely hear from me on a Friday saying, hey, remember such and such is due. Looking forward to hearing from you, all that kind of stuff. So It will go on the announcements page on Blackboard, and it will also go out to you via email. So I try to make sure that everything is very transparent. You guys know everything that's expected when things are due. I never try to trip people up or hide things from you. So when I say you can find a due date for something, you can find it in about 6 places probably. All right, so by the time you're done with this class, there are several things that you'll be able to do. You're going to write an argument-driven, evidence-based essay analyzing historical developments. We're going to use MLA in our class. We're going to learn to read, think, and write historically using primary source documents. Practice critical thinking, super duper important. We're going to use and recognize the 3 C's, change, continuity, and contingency. So change, of course, things are different. Continuity, of course, things stay the same. Contingency are these little moments in history where things could have gone one way and they went a totally different way instead, and they are fascinating. And it's usually based on the decisions of individuals like us. So those are super duper interesting to examine, and we will talk about several examples of those throughout the course of the semester. And you can read all of these. We're going to consider questions of race, class, gender, sexuality, region, ethnicity, and culture to evaluate the continuing struggles for equality and access in America. Textbook, so this is really important. Why does it say, y'all? I'm telling you. So the ISBN is right, I promise. It is volume 2. For textbooks, we have Give Me Liberty and Voices of Freedom, volume 2, 6th edition. They are e-texts. They are available as a bundle. That is the package ISBN. You need an access code for the inquisitive activities and other supplemental learning tools. So please, please, please be sure that you get an access code and you're able to set that up. So we are using digital textbooks. If you want to opt out of using the digital textbook and you want a hard copy book instead, there is a form for that. It's here in the syllabus. You need to complete that form no later than 3 days after the start of the course. You will still need an access code because you will still need to be able to complete the assignments through the software, which is called Inquisitive, because those will be graded. So even if you opt out of the digital text, you have to have an access code so you can do those other assignments. You can't just opt out of the assignments, basically. So, how do we explain the rise of a modern American nation? Between 1865 and the early 2000s, the United States emerged from shattered and divided disunion with weak claims to Western territories to become a diverse, powerful world empire. These changes were neither inevitable nor welcomed by all Americans. That's really important to remember, and I'm going to stress this in the first week, that just because things happened a certain way does not mean they had to happen that way. The individual decisions of many, many people shaped the history as we will study it and learn about it. So by paying attention to the voices of contemporaries, people who lived through the period, we will try to answer a series of perplexing questions, including, what does freedom mean? Who is an American? And what is the proper relationship between individuals and government? We will examine struggles over the meaning of citizenship, the expanding power of government and the American economy in daily life, changing relations of the industrial and the individual, oh gosh, I can't even read, changing relations of the individual with the community, and the complications of national and international expansion. So we're going to start after the Civil War, and we're going to go to like just beyond the beginnings of globalization. We're going to 2008, and that is where we will end our journey. So lots to talk about there. I'm sure you're like, okay, Amanda, that's cool, but how are you going to grade us? Well, there are 3 categories. The first one is participation. And as you can see here, we've got a couple of different ways that that's going to happen. Let's see, we've got discussion boards. Now these are happening most weeks that there is not a other type of written assignment, like a test, a paper, or a group paragraph. So you've got discussion boards, and there are a total of 8 of them. And there is a discussion board FAQ document in the Getting Started Welcome to History 132 section on Blackboard. So be sure to check that out before you start that first discussion board. We'll also have the inquisitive activities. That is what I mentioned earlier that goes with the textbook, so you do need that access code. I think we have like 7 or 8 of those. So pretty even. That totals 20% of your grade. 40% of your grade is exams. There will be 3 of them. They take place in weeks 5, 9, and 17. They are multiple choice, true, false, and identification. They are not open note or open book. You cannot use readings or notes on the exams. Please be aware of that. There are study guides that are provided for the exam. Each exam, in the first week that there is an exam, there's a video going over the study guide and the identification example answer, because I do have an example answer for you in Blackboard as well for the identification, because some of you may have never had those before. So the first test only counts for 10% because, again, it might be an unfamiliar format. Some of you may have never taken a history test at a college level, or may have never taken a history test with me, and you don't know what to expect. So I like to count that first one as less. So that's 10%. Exams 2 and 3 are each worth 15%. 40% of your grade is, the other 40% is analytical papers and assignments. We have two major things in here. One is a 3 to 5 page original argumentative essay based on course readings addressing major themes of the course. The paper will be 20% of your grade. It's due in week 7. So you have almost half the semester under your belt before the paper is due. And as I mentioned, you're going to have discussion boards, which think of those as mini papers. That's written in this syllabus. So you will have lots of feedback from me on your writing before you submit these papers. They will be submitted on Blackboard, of course, and they'll run through Safe Assign. We're going to have group paragraphs also. That's the other 20%. You will be randomly assigned groups in Blackboard around the second week or so, once we make sure everybody's in the class. You will write a 150 to 200 word paragraph answering a very focused question on a specific part of that week's content. And you'll work together as a group. You have 5 of those, and they average 20%. So they, 5 divided by 20, it's 4. Each one's 4% of your grade. So, if one of them doesn't go very well, you have 16% left as far as that part of the grade goes to really make it successful. So, like I said, I'm really not about tripping people up or making them do poorly. I really try very hard to promote the success of all of you, because you are all capable of great success and wonderful things. All right, the Grade Center. Each assignment has very detailed instructions. So the primary focus for each of these is going to be what is the quality of the content. So did you answer the question? Did you follow the prompt, right? Did you really fully answer it? Did you support your answer or argument with the proper evidence from class readings? Nothing is a research paper in here. It's all from inside the course sources. So you'll use our books, Give Me Liberty and Voices of Freedom. You will use anything on Blackboard, and that's it. Okay. So formatting and mechanics will play a smaller but still important role in my assessment of your writing. And again, see each assignment for specific directions, and you are free to contact me with any questions you have about any assignments, of course. So everything's going to get returned within a certain timeline, obviously. I want to make sure you guys know how you're doing in the class. Tests and papers will be returned within 2 weeks. Discussion boards within 1 week. And you can ask around. It's usually a little bit sooner than that. Discussion boards, I always try to get it back to you before the next one is due. So, write the next one, have a draft in your word processor or Google Docs or wherever, but wait to submit it until after you get that feedback from me on the previous one, so you can make sure that you don't have any of the same issues in the next one. Because the goal is to help you improve your writing as you go forward. Otherwise, what's the use of having you write all this stuff, right? Okay, so yeah, so the My Grade section in Blackboard has all that information, and that's where you'll find the feedback. I'll comment directly on exams and on your papers, as well as provide broader feedback on the papers. Okay, so discussion boards, inquisitive activities, and paragraph assignments determine attendance and participation. Paragraph assignments do not determine participation, but they do determine attendance. So late submissions, like, you're not in your group, you didn't work with your group, and then you're trying to come talk to me about it, the day after it's due, trying to give me something, I'm not going to take that. Now, if you have an emergency and you missed your discussion board or your inquisitive activity, like a doctor's note, a death in the family, a medical emergency, something like that, that I can have a record for, I will absolutely extend a deadline and we can figure out what works for you. I know things are a little bit frightening and uncertain right now. So, you know, communication is going to be absolutely key. If you have any issues or anything comes up or you're struggling in any way, please let me know. And, you know, that documentation doesn't have to be detailed medical information. I need to have a record, something, you know, that this was an emergency situation that prevented you from being able to submit on time. And we'll work with what that might look like on a case-by-case basis. So, late submissions that do not have any documentation to get an extension, those papers, if they're late, they'll be deducted 5 points for each day. That's day, not class day, that they are late. I will not accept anything once it's two weeks past due. Tests can be made up with a documented excuse, but late test submissions are not possible otherwise. Group paragraphs, you can't make those up either. I could exempt one if you have a documented excuse, but you either were able to meet with and work with your group members or you were not. You know, and that, you know, meeting with them can also be popping into the discussion board for your specific group. More on that in the group stuff, the group paragraph section of the Blackboard site. But popping into your group, you know, like on a Tuesday, dropping in, you know, part of a quote or, you know, an idea for the paragraph, then dropping back in on Thursday, looking at their responses and you know, adding your own response, and then, you know, putting together a final draft with the group members. It doesn't mean that you all have to meet at a specific time. You can if you're able to, but you don't have to do that. Okay, we are going to use parenthetical citations. We're going to use MLA. So you can use this citation builder if you need to, but there's also a writing tips sheet in the Getting Started, Welcome to History 132 section that shows you how to cite stuff too for your papers, and it shows you how to do parenthetical citations for discussion boards and things like that. So check that out too, because that tells you exactly how you need to cite. There is one extra credit opportunity as of now. That is a discussion board. It's available all semester, so it's not due until noon on the last day of class. But you can take a look at it, and if you have any questions, let me know. But it's open all semester, so you can do that whenever you want. And yeah, so it's there the whole time. Grades are on a 10-point scale. Some things that you might need to know. Let's see. Check your email daily. I check mine daily. You should too. You know, especially because we're 100% online, I won't see you guys at a set time at all, which means all of the updates, you know, any changes or any closures or anything we need to deal with or worry about or anything that might change our schedule will be sent to you electronically. That's going to be on the Blackboard announcements, and they will also be sent as email, so they'll be in 2 spots. So please be sure to check on stuff, okay? And I'll check my email too, so, you know, like if Blackboard eats your exam and you answer 2 questions and that's it, I might email you and be like, hey, did you do this on purpose? If not, you know, please let me know. I can open it for you and give you an extra 12 hours or whatever. But, you know, if you don't check your email, you won't know that. And then, it's like 6 points for your exam, and that's not great. So be sure to check your email. We're going to move pretty quickly. We have less to talk about than you do in 131, but we have more to talk about than you do in 131 just because of the way that the time works and the content and the history and just the things we have to talk about. I mean, I think we spend like 3 weeks on one decade at some point, like at 2 different points in the semester. So there's a lot going on. So we're going to cover a lot of information fairly quickly. So please be reading, please be following the reading breakdown. Again, that's discussed in the Blackboard tour video. Please keep up. I really don't want anybody to fall behind. You know, if there's an issue, if something comes up like an emergency or something, that's totally different. Communicate with me. We'll try to make sure we keep you on track. But, you know, please be putting the effort in to read and be engaged in the course. Watch the lecture videos, all that good stuff. So, yeah, we're going to use Blackboard, obviously, because we're online. So, yeah, you might want to, Jolt's main page has some Blackboard tutorials if you're unfamiliar with it. And after you check those out, if you have more questions, you can always ask me. I provide lecture outlines on Blackboard. We'll see a copy of those in the Blackboard tour. this is not required. This is optional. This is just to assist you in your note-taking if you want to use it. There are two sections. There's a keyword section and a discussion question section. You don't have to turn this in. Everything on the exam comes from the keywords. So if you're filling out the who, what, when, where, and so what for the key terms throughout the semester, you've already got a filled out study guide by the time that first exam starts rolling around. So just something to keep in mind. I like to keep the tools there for you to use them. I also keep the lecture notes in there, the script that I use. So, if you want to print that out or download that and, take notes on that yourself, you're welcome to do that. So just trying to make sure you guys have ways to take notes and learn in, ways that work for you. Big deal here, the success of the class will be determined largely by your participation. We each bring different experiences and skills to the class. Some will be more familiar with the literature or speak more often than others. Our goal is a supportive environment and lively give and take. That rolls right into the second one. Or the second piece that I was going to say. Disagreement is an important part of intellectual discussion, and arguing out issues is critical to a college education. Therefore, you should expect to disagree with the ideas or opinions of others, especially in your discussion sections, like our discussion boards and whatnot. Please always disagree in a respectful manner. Treat others as you would like to be treated, and use respectful language to refer to groups, individuals, and fellow students. We're going to be talking about racism and sexism and activism and politics and all kinds of stuff that's really hot topics. So please, 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 we can disagree. We're going to be respectful when we do it, okay? So this is a lot to do with your discussion boards, because this is how we're going to talk to each other. Okay, and like I said, you have 8 of those throughout the semester. So please not only, make sure your post answers the question, but in the comments, remember the posts are like mini papers. So the tone in those is going to be more academic and more formal. The comments, though, on the discussion boards, that is where you can really get into some good discussion. That's where you can use first person statements. You can be like, I thought blah, blah, blah. Or did you see this? Like, check this part out of this document. Or I totally agree with you, or I totally disagree with you, and here's this part and give me liberty that supports my opinion. So really, I really want us all to engage. I'll be popping in and commenting in different threads throughout the semester as well. I read everything, including all the comments. So, please, let's all be involved together in this class and its material. Plagiarism and cheating. Please don't do it. Please, 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 please. It is so infuriating. And the reason why it makes me so angry is because every single one of you is so much better than that. You are so much better than that. And you're all smart and you're all capable of greatness. And it's always such a bummer to see someone, not put in the work, not, let their brain do the talking. Because I want to know what you think. I want to hear you. I want to hear your voice. Yeah, the sources are going to back up and support you, but it's your argument I'm looking for. It's what you think, what you've pulled out of the class every week. That's what I want. I don't want some random person on essays.com. I don't care what they think, so please don't do it. Plus, it's going to give you a 0 on the assignment and you'll be reported. And that's just no fun for anybody. So please, 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 please don't do it. If you have any questions about what plagiarism is or what cheating is, please ask. There is a handout in the Getting Started Welcome to History 132 section called Is This Plagiarism? You are welcome to read that. It's just got a couple of examples for things that you may not know constitutes plagiarism. Like if you paraphrase something, you need to cite that. Even if it's not a direct quote, you still need to cite it. If you don't, that's plagiarism. So check that handout out, and then if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. I have those virtual office hours. If those don't work, please, let me know. We'll make something else happen. Email me, use my Google Voice number. Communication is key, especially right now. So please understand that I'm available and I am here to talk with you if you need that. Attendance. You can miss 2 weeks of class. I don't recommend that. I just told you how much we're going to talk about. Things come up and things happen, and sometimes you need to do that, and that's okay. Communicate with me, let me know. Also, the other thing, too, is that this class, the entire semester, is open all the time. So if you know that you have a trip coming up, or if you know that something's going on and you have the plans already made, you can work ahead to where you don't miss an assignment. You aren't late on anything. And you can, that's the great thing about the online platform, is you can do it from anywhere. And also, I leave my entire semester open the entire time. So, you can be working on week 10 during week 8 if that's something you need to be doing. Because you're not going to be here for week 10. So please keep that in mind. For the 2 weeks, like I said, after that, that's all you get. So after 2 weeks, I do have to drop you from the class. Now, if you are passing the class and you would like to be reinstated, please let me know. We can do that. But if you miss like 3 or 4 weeks of the class, at that point, mathematically, it's going to be very hard to be successful, and you may already not be passing. So please be in attendance as much as you can. If something crazy happens and you can't, or you or a family member is ill or something, please communicate with me as best you can. And we will work, we'll work through it as best we can. And, I'll work with you wherever I can. I can't break policies. I can, bend them a little here and there if I need to, but that whole reinstatement thing is there for us if we need it, okay? So please keep that in mind. For CCP students, I don't think you guys are doing trips like band stuff. I would imagine probably not. If you were, that would not be a documented excuse for JCC. So just keep that in mind, but I don't think y'all are doing anything like that. Jolt is awesome. If you need them, please contact them. Or email them. Email them is great. Religious and solemn observance, we have that. There is a form. If you need to miss class for religious reasons, I need the form so I can give you approval at least 2 weeks prior. You will be able to make up all work. That will not be a problem. So just let me know. Student concerns. This is, we have a faculty first policy here at JCC, and I like to call it the we are all adults policy. So, we're going to be communicating almost exclusively through typed text, right? Tone is very, very hard to convey through typed text. I may communicate, I may say something in an announcement or a comment on a discussion board, and the tone may sound totally wrong. It may sound like I'm being mean or disrespectful, and that is never my intent. So if something like that happens, please communicate with me. Please let me know. I will apologize for the miscommunication, and I will change that tone. I will fix that tone if that comes across, in a way that is not my intent. I will absolutely, claim that. I will own that, because I'm a human and I make mistakes just like all other humans. So if there is an issue, if you have an issue with me or something that I've said or done in our class, please feel free to communicate with me. Just like if we're having a discussion and you type a comment on someone's post and it sounds disrespectful or mean, I will contact you and let you know. Oftentimes it's never the student's intent to do that, just like it's never my intent to do that either. And that's why we have this two-way street. We're all adults. We're going to communicate with each other. If there is a problem that you feel is too big, there is a chart here that you can go up to other folks in the department. Hopefully this won't be needed, but this is here if you do need it. Like I said, I'm super big on communication. I really, I'm really here to help. Like I said, I want everyone in here to be successful. You are all capable of greatness. I mean, we're going to get to the semester, and by the time you get to the end, you could be like, wow, like so many regular people did so many amazing things. Martin Luther King Jr., Elizabeth Cady Stanton, I'm just going like weirdly backwards in time. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. These were all regular individuals like us, and they did these amazing, great things that we read about now in books. So you are all capable of greatness, and I am here to help you achieve that greatness in any way that I can. So please utilize these different communication methods if you need anything, or if you just want to chat about something cool that you read in one of our books. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please reach out. Be sure to mark this reviewed after you've read the syllabus and or watched this video. Please go back and review the syllabus and refer to it often. It's got, our major due dates and things in there. So please make sure you have this on hand all semester. and please let me know if you have any questions.